and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Tomiwa Aluko. I am thrilled to be joined today by Princess Ronke Ademiluyi, founder of Africa Fashion Week London and Nigeria, a platform that promotes and nurtures African and African-inspired design talent. Her African Fashion Week London has showcased over 1,000 designers and exhibitors from Africa and the global diaspora to over 70,000 visitors. In 2014, she set up a sister platform in Nigeria to enable her to reach to young African designers from all over the continent who can't afford the logistics of traveling to London to showcase. In 2017, she co-founded the Queen Moremi Ajasoro Initiative alongside His Imperial Majesty Oni Adire Enitan Ogunwusi, the King of Ife Kingdom in Nigeria. This initiative campaigns for the rights of women and girls in Nigeria. She is also the global ambassador of the Queen Moremi Ajasoro legacy. In 2021, she launched the Adire Textile Factory in Ile-Ife, Osun State, Nigeria. This project has been described by many as the biggest Adire Textile Factory in Nigeria, as there are other facilities within the complex, including a gallery for visiting exhibitions, a textile museum, a digital library, and so much more. Princess Ronke, thank you so much for joining me today. It's an honor to have you.
Hi, Tomiwa. Thank you so much for having me.
Let's dive right in. I thought we will start by you explaining or telling us more about who you are and what you do.
I'm a princess from Ile-Ife in Osun State, the southwest of Nigeria. I'm a lawyer by profession. However, I'm not a practicing lawyer. I'm the founder of Africa Fashion Week London, founder of Africa Fashion Week Nigeria, and also the CEO of the Adire Oduduwa Textile Hub in Ile-Ife, Osun State in Nigeria.
Amazing. You know, it's a good thing you mentioned that you studied law. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things that, while I was in my research about you, that's one of the things that really caught my attention. And I'm just curious, what made you to transition from your legal background into the fashion industry?
While I was growing up, so in my generation, which was a few decades ago, fashion wasn't seen as a very lucrative profession. It was something that was frowned at. You know, there was no way you could just say, you know what, I want to be a fashion designer, or I want to go and study fashion, or even the business of fashion. Everybody would think you're not serious. And even my parents then, you know, they didn't really want me to study fashion. So I decided to become a lawyer to please them. And, you know, like I said, it wasn't really something that was seen as professional then when we were growing up. So I decided to study law. But immediately after graduating as a lawyer, I went straight into the fashion industry.
I actually attended your fashion show last year and it was so beautiful. As a matter of fact, that was my first time attending the show. And I must say the creativity of our African designers, it was just nothing. It was something that I've never seen before. This year marks the 11th year anniversary of the African Fashion Week London. As a Black female entrepreneur, I want to know what the journey has been like for you, because as you know, there are not many women in the fashion industry in Africa. So can you please tell me, what has this journey been like for you, and what are some of the challenges you have experienced or you are still facing right now, and how are you overcoming these challenges?
The journey has been quite an experience. So like I said, when I finished as a lawyer, I went straight into the fashion industry. I moved back to Nigeria. I set up a few online, not online then. I set up a few retail stores. So I was buying from the West, and then I was bringing it back to Nigeria to sell. So I had an outfit then called Rookies, and that's where it all started from in 2001. I had, I would say I had like 5 stores all around Lagos. But in 2011, I got tired of promoting Western fashion. And I decided to, look into the African fashion, because it was also by chance, because I was in the UK. So I came in from Nigeria. I was in the UK for a couple of months. And I think it was during summer. And then there was a party that I wanted to attend that I had to wear an African outfit. And I looked everywhere. I couldn't find one. So I said to myself, don't we have any African designers here in London or the UK? Where are they? and nobody knew where they are. I'm sorry, where they were then. Nobody could locate any of them. So I started my research and I found that, yes, we have so many of them, scattered all over the place, but there wasn't a platform that brought all of them together. So then the mainstream fashion weeks did not really include, the African designers, unlike now where you see African fashion everywhere. Yes. In 2011, it wasn't like that. So that's where it all started. So the dream to have an Africa Fashion Week in London started then. I discussed it with a few people. So many people did not think it would work. They were like, no way, who's going to buy African fashion in London? I was even advised to change the name as well. They were like, okay, why don't you change the name? If you remove Africa from there, it might be more acceptable. And then you might get people who will buy into it. But I said, you know what? I had this gut feeling, and sometimes it's always good to go with your gut feeling. When you think something is going to work, just stick to it. Even if it doesn't work at that moment, you can keep on trying until you make it work. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to stick to this. I'm going to make sure I put my best into making it work. And if it doesn't, well, so be it. It wasn't meant to be.
Absolutely. I love that. And I must say to you, Princess Ronke, you have done an amazing job in promoting and nurturing African and African-inspired design talents. I mean, you have showcased over 1,000 designers and exhibitors from Africa and the global diaspora to over 70,000 visitors. That is just mind-blowing. Can you tell me, how do you think the African Fashion Week London and Nigeria have impacted the way the Western part of the world perceive the African fashion over the years?
The impact is phenomenal. So initially, before we started Africa Fashion Week London in 2011, there wasn't an Africa Fashion Week. Right. So we are the pioneers of the Africa Fashion Week. And almost every city now, every major city in the world has its own Africa Fashion Week off the back of the success of Africa Fashion Week London. And imagine when we have, so you said you were at the Fashion Week last year.
Yes.
Designers from almost every country in Africa that's represented, we give them a platform to showcase their designs, their fashion culture in one of the major fashion capitals of the world, which is London. So like I said, the impact is phenomenal. There's so much. People come to see, the media houses come to see the latest fashion out of Africa. The Western designers come to see how they can be inspired, by African fashion. So the impact is so huge. It's you can't even quantify it.
I want to talk about other projects that you are currently involved with. You co-founded the Queen Moremi Ajasoro Initiative alongside His Imperial Majesty Oni Adire Enitan Ogunwusi. What was the idea behind the initiative? What do you aim to achieve with it?
I don't know if you know the story or the history of the legendary Queen Moremi Ajasoro.
Please tell us.
So you have an idea of, sacrificial deed that she did for her people, yes. That her selfless attribute that enabled her, to save her people from being enslaved. So His Majesty thought he's at the forefront, of promoting the rights of women in Nigeria and globally, and also promoting the rights of the girl child, advocating for female leadership, inclusiveness to make sure that females are more represented in politics, in businesses, just across the board. So we came up with the QMA initiative, which is the Queen Moremi Ajasoro Initiative. And under the initiative, we have to make sure that females are more represented in politics, in businesses, just across the board. So we came up with the QMA initiative, which is the Queen Moremi Ajasoro Initiative. And under the initiative, we have so many projects. We have the Say No to Slavery. We have the Say No to Rape campaign. We have the Entrepreneurship Fund that we give startup funds to young girls. We have Moremi the Musical, where we told her story in the form of a musical drama. We have the QMA Cultural and Leadership Pageant. So, but the aim behind all of this is to make sure we continue to support young women in Nigeria. We continue to bridge that gap, because a lot of women need that push. They need a mentor who would tell, who they can go to when they have challenges. And we don't have a lot of those in Nigeria at the moment. So His Majesty's aim was, to use the Queen Moremi Initiative to reach out, to young women who are facing so many difficulties, across the line, so many things that we can't, because if I say we should start discussing it now, we won't, there's no time. But there's so many things that the project does for young women. Our cultural and leadership pageant also, we have a camp. So young girls are camped for about 2 weeks, and we teach them so many things about our culture, about leadership, and it's just amazing.
Speaking about empowerment and providing opportunities for people in Nigeria and in Africa, you launched the Adire Textile Factory in Ile-Ife last year. As a matter of fact, all over Nigeria, people have described it as the biggest Adire textile factory in Nigeria. Can you tell me the idea behind this?
The Adire Oduduwa Textile Hub is located in Ile-Ife, in Osun State, the southwest of Nigeria, and it's on 48 plots of land that was gifted to us by His Imperial Majesty, who is the chairman of the Adire Hub. The Adire Hub was opened as a bounce back, a COVID bounce back facility to enable us to empower young youth, so young people and women, to help them back into the society. It was also what we aimed to achieve was to enable us to use our heritage fabric, which is Adire, as a wealth creation project. So many people, so many businesses, during COVID died. There wasn't a lot that people could do. So the Adire was launched, as a way of giving back and encouraging people, to pick up where after what COVID had done to them, and to ensure that they become more sustainable in what they're doing. And what other way to do it than to use our heritage fabric, which is Adire, that dates back to over thousands and thousands of years ago. And that was the aim. That was why His Majesty said, let's set up the Adire Hub.
Speaking of Adire, you've also set up the Adire on the Wheels. Is that correct? What can you tell me about that?
Adire on Wheels is it's the first of its kind. It's a mobile Adire boutique where it's the first one's in Lagos. We aim to have many more in Lagos to also help, youth, get them off the street, get them to put all their skills, into selling our Adire, because Adire is a very lucrative business. It's our own textile, it's our fabric, it's our heritage. It's been on for thousands of years. I know there was a decline in, the artisans who made Adire in the 1960s. When we saw an influx of prints, Ankara prints that came into the country from Europe and from China. But right now, a lot of people are going back to their heritage. They want to know what the Adire is all about. A lot of people don't know that Adire means Adi, Are. So that means we tie the fabric and we dye it, we soak it in dye. That's what Adire means. So we teach so many things at the Adire Hub. And it's also a cultural exchange program where people can come to learn about our culture, our symbols, the signs, everything behind the fabrics that we do in Nigeria. Because for Adire, it's not just a fabric. It's a fabric that has meaning. And for each piece, that we make, there's so much that goes into it. There's always a story behind it. So Adire on Wheels is going to help us pass out that message. So it's not going to limit us just to Ife, but it's going to go around the country, and that's the aim for the Adire on Wheels. It's kind of like a Adire on tour.
That is amazing. I must say to you, Princess Ronke, when I came across Adire on Wheels on the internet, I thought to myself, what does this mean? But it's so creative. I really do love the idea. I wish we can actually have something here in England as well. I think that would be good.
We're planning on some Adire workshops. Okay. It's the Africa Fashion Week London, which is going to be taking place on the 8th of October. So we're definitely going to have some Adire workshops where we teach people how, like a beginner's class for those interested. There's so many techniques, ancient ones like the Adire Labere, Adire Lepo, Adire Oko, the knotting, the marbling. The Adire is so versatile, and the methods, the techniques that we use is just, they're so huge that they're countless.
Princess Ronke, please, before you go, I can imagine that throughout your journey in establishing this African Fashion Week London and Nigeria, I believe that you have had so many experiences, so many mentors. What advice do you have for especially young female entrepreneurs who would love to go into the fashion industry but don't really know how to?
I would say, if fashion is something you want to go into, whether it's the business of fashion, whether you want to be a fashion designer or a fashion writer, whatever you want to be, just, decide on what you want to do. Don't give up, because a lot of people might tell you that, it can't work. And there's always a due process. I didn't get to where I am now in one day. So you have to learn to crawl first. After crawling, then you can walk. After walking, you can jump, and then you can fly. And the sky is it's not even the limit. The sky is the beginning. So whatever you want to do, believe in yourself, love yourself. It's always important to have self-love, love yourself, don't be limited in your aspirations or your dreams. And that's what has helped me so far.
Thank you so much for this rich discussion. I really do appreciate your time. And I also want to say a very big thank you on behalf of everybody that you have impacted positively with your platform. Thank you so much for all you do. And thank you. I really do appreciate this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.